about the people who call themselves the government. They're really just a criminal gang. You do as you're told, or else they'll hurt you.
Is liberty dying where you live? Escape to Keene at freekeene.com.
I offer my most cordial welcome to our candidates, Mr. Andrew Hemingway, Mr. Walt Abenstein, and Mr. Jonathan Stoll. Thank you for being here today. Mr. Ian Freeman, Democratic candidate for governor, is also here this evening to provide insight into his candidacy. And so welcome, Mr. Freeman.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out today. I'm Ian Freeman. I'm one of the chairs of the New Hampshire Liberty Party. I'm running as a Democrat this year in the primary against Maggie Hassan. I'm here tonight, as you know, because Maggie Hassan refused to debate me. So it was very nice to be invited here to get to speak to you folks here tonight and the audience at home. You know, politicians are a cowardly, cruel bunch, aren't they? Maggie Hassan, for instance, she refused to sign that little cannabis legislation here in New Hampshire until home grow provisions were removed. So that means that in New Hampshire, if you're a patient and you grow plants in your home, you can be arrested, you can be thrown in prison for years because of that. To me, it's Maggie Hassan and the others who support prohibition who are real criminals. Now, maybe that's one reason why she doesn't want to debate. It's probably pretty embarrassing to be called a criminal in public, especially when it's your job to make gang activity look legitimate. And isn't that ultimately what the state is? I'm not talking about the land, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about the good people, the rivers, the trees in New Hampshire. I'm talking about the people who call themselves the government. They're really just a criminal gang. You do as you're told, or else they'll hurt you. Maybe put you in a cage or possibly kill you. Now, some of them claim there's a social contract that excuses their behavior. But I don't recall signing anything like that, ever. I don't know about you. In fact, I don't think you signed the alleged social contract, but even if you did, what would be its terms? Think about the word citizen. Have you ever looked it up? What it means is somebody who owes a duty of allegiance in return for an obligation of protection. It's supposed to be a deal. You give up your allegiance, you do as you're told in return for protection. Well, what if I told you that government at all levels has no obligation to protect you whatsoever? Don't take my word for it. I'm a politician. Take the word of the Supreme Court. In multiple instances, all you have to do is Google "no obligation to protect." You'll find Warren versus D.C. and countless other cases where it's made pretty clear that no government at any level has an obligation to provide you with protection or any other services. Now, just to be clear, I'm not saying the police wouldn't help you if you were in danger or in need. I think many of the police officers here in New Hampshire are good people, and they're doing their best. It's just that there's no obligation for them to do anything at all. And there's also next to no liability if they do something wrong. Now, of course, the higher up you go from local government, the less humane and empathetic the government agents become. You've all seen that happen. In fact, if I were elected the governor, I would be able to swear the oath of office. The oath requires I swear allegiance to the United States government, and I consider them the biggest criminal gang known to mankind. So as a lover of liberty, I couldn't swear such an oath. I could, however, swear an oath to advancing freedom. That's fine with me. It's, of course, the opposite of what government generally does. Ideally, New Hampshire really should declare independence from the United States federal government. The feds don't do anything for us but steal from you, control you, and create terrorism around the world by slaughtering people. And it doesn't matter if it's a Republican or a Democrat who's in charge. In fact, if you want to learn more about it, I recommend visiting the Foundation for New Hampshire Independence at nhindependence.org. That's their website. Now, politicians, they all have some vision for society. They want to force it upon you, whether you like it or not. For many Democrats and Republican politicians, that means they want more government intrusion into your life. And I think that's the wrong way to go. Freedom is the answer to any question. That's why I'm one of the founders of the New Hampshire Liberty Party. So you might ask, why am I running as a Democrat if I'm one of the chairmen of the New Hampshire Liberty Party? Well, the primary reason for that is it's incredibly difficult to get on the ballot as a third party here in New Hampshire. The Republicans and Democrats have made it really difficult. For instance, Libertarians, Greens, New Hampshire Liberty Party, anybody else besides the Republicans and Democrats, to to come into a race and give people choice and new ideas. Had I wanted to run under the New Hampshire Liberty Party rather than the Democrats, I would have had to gather 3,000 petition signatures statewide. Now, of course, when you're gathering petition signatures, some of them are going to be invalid, so most of the various clerks around the state are going to try to validate as many as they possibly can. So you really should gather 5,000 petition signatures just to make sure you make the goal. Now, of course, if you want it done right, petitioning is hard work. You're going to have to pay $1 per petition. So now we're up to at least $5,000 just to file for office, presuming you can actually succeed and get those 5,000 signatures. Or I could pay $100 and run as a Republican or Democrat. No signatures required. So I chose to align myself with the Democratic Party because I felt that Maggie Hassan needed to be called out for lack of compassion towards cannabis users. I also wanted to have the opportunity to encourage you to seriously consider the idea of New Hampshire declaring independence. I want to thank you for your attention and your consideration here tonight. Again, I'm Ian Freeman. I'm the pro-liberty candidate running for governor in the Democratic primary. If you'd like to learn more about me and the New Hampshire Liberty Party, please visit nhliberty.info. That's nhliberty.info. Thank you again for coming out and listening tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Frank.
We'd like to invite you to visit freekeen.com. Freekeen.com features audio, video, and blogs chronicling the transition to a voluntary society. Freekeen.com also has comments and discussion forums so you can be heard. Freekeen.com.
I should be in Keene, New Hampshire with the Free Staters.